Well, as you can see, I'm at the chest. Awesome stuff. To briefly explain what happened, I essentially went through this entire place, ran from every enemy fight, and kept going till I found this chest. What is in the chest that took so long for me to get to? Well, we'll find out in a second. I intentionally made the main character stand there so I could do some expository explaining first. I gave him about 3 seconds, so that should be more than enough. Oh, I cannot carry it. Whoops. Yeah, I need to throw away some herbs. Moon, the legendary Moon Crescent. Yeah, this thing's pretty important, actually. We cannot progress without it. What do we need to use it for? You'll see. If you are a fan of Dragon Quest, this should seem very familiar to you, since they have also taken advantage of this scenario. Actually, before Beyond the Beyond, they did it several times. So much so that I think it's even a motif in Dragon Quest now to do this. But anyway, okay, we're at a minute 40. I've noticed a couple of things about my recordings though. One, they still look a little blurry when I actually upload them. They don't look terrible, mind you, but it still kind of bugs me. So I don't know how to fix that issue, even now. I suppose I could try testing on a lower quality, and I think I will. And that is what the Moon Crescent does. Changes day to night. Although, when you go into most towns, it's still daytime. Huh. I guess they specifically made it to where you can only use this special key item in one town. Kinda lame. Oh well. If you'll recall, when I went to Luna, they said that pirates would hang out to Luna at night, or something to that degree. I believe the exact words were, you meet all kinds of interesting people at night. And if you put 2 and 2 together, that means the pirates hide out until nightfall. But since nightfall doesn't really pass in Beyond the Beyond, you needed a special item to do so. Which is why we needed the Moon Crescent. And it just so happened that some dickwad decided to put the Moon Crescent at the bottom of the Temple of Orin, where you had to triumph at puzzle solving in order to get it. I'm sorry I couldn't really show off the proper method about how to actually get to the Moon Crescent, but I can give you at least a hint to how to get it. The top left and the top right switches have to sync up somehow, and that's the key to solving that floor, is the top left and right switches have to be used at the same time in order to open up the way to get to that chest from the top. I don't remember the exact pattern of switches I used, because that's kind of hard to remember, but that should help quite a bit though. I actually didn't have to spend near as much time this time around messing around with the switches. If I had, then I probably would have just recorded from there. Because I honestly didn't spend more than, I think, 10 minutes on the final floor. But I didn't know that at the time. I honestly expected it to take like another hour and a half, at least, in order to beat that floor. I must have got really lucky or something. And now, to go into Luna and exit back out, so I can use the Moon Crescent. And now, if you enter Luna now, you get some snazzy new party music, and the water has actually drifted closer to the coast. And if you go to the top of the town, you'll actually see a ladder, which you can climb down to get to a lower level. This is the only real way to access this part of Luna, and is a temporary measure. Now you can talk to pirates, and some of them have some interesting news to say. And oddly enough, none of them are really twisted or anything. Yeah, the girls love Domino. He's a ladies' man. You're gonna learn that real quick. None of the pirates really can help you though until much later at Luna. There are a lot of interesting quests you can do when you're here too. One of them is to talk to the dancing girls. If you do so, after talking to the men, aww. Now, this is another reason I kind of like Beyond the Beyond, because despite what people may think, the creative team has gone out their way to create scenarios that involve the player. Yeah. A vase and beans. Well, we know about a vase, the vase of life, and we have a magic bean. Could they be connected somehow? Huh. Oh, well, this guy doesn't like Domino, that's for sure. Well, that other guy's not being too friendly. Oh, well, now he is, for some reason. So, Gaia is our next area. Yeah, we've talked to that guy, actually. So he has a statue related to this island. Methinks I should pick it up. Yeah, I came with you prepared for this. Mainly because I thought I was actually going to fight my way up. And a part of me regrets not doing so. But I am trying to keep all of my actual grinding on screen, as much of it as possible anyway, without boring people. Because, much like Saigon Cat, I feel that it is part of the experience for people to actually watch, so I'm not going to cut stuff out unless I feel like I am forced into doing so. I almost was. Because this place was just insane. Yeah, the source of life is pretty lousy. All it gives you is extra LP. Which is nice, but when you consider that you don't get many source of life throughout the game, they're not near as important. The source of growth, however, is. I don't use it in this video, but this essentially gives you extra experience points. You can get as low as 1,000 to as much as 5,000 from that thing. They're very rare though, and you only get like 2 or 3 in the game, sadly. Nighttime Luna also has its own item and weapon and armor shops. Very nice! Oh, and here's this loser again. Yeah, he's about as friendly as always. However, if you go into this next room, there's another special scene you can get. Oh! Yeah, why not, you jerk? Figures, loser. Domino's not the only ladies' man in this town. And Annie's getting jealous. And Steiner's just egging her on. There should have been a question mark after Finn, not a comma. Just saying. Oh well, I can forgive them for that. It's a pretty minor mistake. Heck, it sounds like something I probably do. And now for the very great weapon and armor shop here. However, I am again out of item space. I honestly grinded gold because I was actually expecting weapon and armor shops to be a little pricier than this, but they're really not. I'm getting most of my money back. So I still have loads of cash left. Mind you, I still have to buy armor, but as you're about to find out, there's really not that much. I'm not gonna get the heavy mail, because if memory serves, that lowers Samson's speed. And the 3 defense isn't worth it. Speed is always better than defense, really. There's a character I'm gonna get later on that all his equipment towards the middle half of the game focuses on just speed. So, once I get that character, he's definitely getting pushed in my party, just based on principle. But that's much later. I'm not getting another party member for quite a while. However, I think we've had enough fun going through Luna, so it's time to talk to this townsperson about the Statue of Gaia. Because much like the Moon Crescent, it is a key item that I'm going to need. There is a catch, however. And you're about to see that real soon. Oh yeah, you love it a lot. That's why you're sleeping right through it. Stay the course, buddy. The person we have to talk to is this guy over here. This guy, I mean. Yeah, this guy wants to party at night, but he works in the daytime, so the Moon Crescent will help with his dilemma. And, as such, we get the Statue of Gaia. Unfortunately, that also means you can no longer return to nighttime Luna. So you better make sure you get everything you need the first time around, because they will not let you back in. Oh well. Time to progress to the Valley of the Mist. No, not the Valley of the Mist from Legend of Legaia. This Valley of the Mist. There's no Siru or anything like in Legend of Legaia, but there are a couple of new monsters we need to watch out for. I'll be talking about them as they arrive, though. To talk about a couple of other issues, there has been some lag between my commentary and the gameplay. It's off by, I think, like 10 seconds or so, and I don't know why it does that, but there's nothing I can really do about it. Oh, Finn finally gains Fire level 2. To be honest, Finn's attack spells will almost never be used, because he gains them so slow that the damage output really isn't impressive enough. Especially when I have 2 mages already that have much better spells. If you're going for an all-magic party, maybe you could do that, but I really don't care to do that. You have enough magic power already. And as you're going to find later on, enemies don't really get hard enough to where you even need a full magic party. Not unless you really like using magic and want to preserve it. Which I suppose you could do, but considering how easy this game will actually get later on, it's really just not necessary. When I go through this place, I do miss one chest. And I think it had one of Annie's ribbons in it, an upgrade, but it's not a huge loss. I'll probably be able to buy it later down the road, and it's not like it's a huge upgrade for her anyway. Defense upgrades in this game really don't contribute as much as weapons do, if you haven't noticed that already. So, don't be worried if you miss an armor upgrade in a chest or something. It's not really all that important. I think there's only one armor upgrade you get in a chest later on that's really good, and it's fairly out in the open. Plus it's in a no enemy area, so there's no reason not to find that. That's a little bit down the road though. I've also noticed on the Dragon's Den, I've noticed that there's a lot, and I mean a lot more activity in the video department, where people nowadays are doing lots and lots of video input on the site. This includes Let's Plays, video reviews, and even introspective videos, like the ones I'm going to be coming out with for Dragon Quest. I saw a review for Dragon Quest 9, I saw someone review Dragon Quest 2, Saigen is doing Dragon Quest Let's Plays of all the different Dragon Quest games, as well as Sage Advice for Dragon Quest 9. He's also doing a Dragon Quest podcast, or Dragon Quest related podcast, sometime in the near future. So, why is it that after all this time, we still don't have a video section for people to upload topics related to said videos? It just seems kind of odd to me, considering that how popular the video section of the site actually is. I actually see more activity in that than just about any other place on the forum. I think the only other place I think that might be more popular is maybe the arena section and the contest area. I guess if I wanted to nitpick, I'd say general chit-chat is also kind of busy, but considering that general chit-chat is kind of like the off-topic area, I'm not surprised by this. I'm gonna probably post a question and answer in the Let's Play Q&A topic and ask people if we'd like to see a section dedicated to just videos. I personally would love that because I felt bad for the longest time of posting my video stuff in the general video game section because, one, I don't think people that are looking for videos will necessarily look in that area some of the time, unless they just happen to see the topic just being posted in. And really, it's not the right place for it anyway. Especially if I'm going to be making a topic for each different Let's Play I'm going to be doing. Because I can imagine that eventually it's going to get to a point where I'm going to be like swarming the topic area with all my different Let's Play topics. And I don't really feel good about that, because I really feel like I'm posting in the wrong area. There's just no other area for me to post in, since this forum doesn't have a video section as of yet. So I'd really like to see that possibly change in the near future. Not only for me, but for anyone else that posts videos. Because that would be great if that was to actually happen. Because while I will post Dragon Quest videos eventually, that's obviously not the only thing I focus on, since there are a ton of other games that I would also love to show off to people that don't necessarily resonate with Dragon Quest itself. Because there are loads of great games that have been made for multiple systems that have nothing to do with Dragon Quest, but are just as fun. That's kind of why I wanted to Let's Play Beyond the Beyond. Because while it does have certain similarities to Dragon Quest, it's also very different. And I just love the thought that and creativity that went into this game. Aside from that, what else? I can't really think of anything to talk about the Valley of Mist. It's pretty generic, actually. There is a gimmick that you've seen so far where these statues will push you back and forth, which I honestly should have talked about when it first happened, but I lost track of time. But yeah, if you get close enough to the statues, they will pull you magnetically to another part of the area. But they're not really that hard to figure out. You just gotta keep your eye out for them. If you look like you're trapped in an area, then move around the area, and you're bound to find the statue that will transfer you to the next part of this area. Aside from one segment in this place, though, the statues aren't really a nuisance. And it's really just, invisible bridges, almost, is what they are. Albeit they're a little more convenient, since at least when you're being pulled, they can't drag you into a random fight. So this place is really short. But the next area after this is a bit more complicated. Yeah, the next area is not a nice dungeon, but at least it's way better than Temple of Orin, by a long shot. Actually, I've been told it's pronounced Aron, not Oron, but whatever, I don't care. This part, you have to be careful, because there are loads of statues that will make you backtrack if you get into their path. So you gotta kind of zigzag your way through that area, and hope that the random battles don't throw you off, like they almost did me. But overall, it's not that bad. This is like the only part of the area that can screw you over, so it's not so bad. The next area is a place that I might be stuck at for a little while, because the area after the next one, you want to be at least level 20. Because you get a very awesome technique for Annie once you get to that high of a level. And I really want it. A lot. I don't know if I'll end up getting it, because I don't make it past the next area in this video, but I do get pretty far in it. I'm also doing pretty good about preserving my MP. I haven't ran into any dungeons yet that consistently force me to rely on my magicians, which helped a lot. In a couple of other battles, you saw an enemy called the Lizard Warrior. I might be wrong, but I think also having a high attack, these monsters may also have the Ice spell, which sucks. In this place, you also see Ice Warriors, which are a cut above Skeletal Warriors. They not only have strong attack, but also have the Ice spell, which sucks. Yeah, a lot of enemies have that spell now, and it can do a pretty decent chunk of damage. Their critical attack can do about the same and do stats effects, but you'll see that least often. But yeah, like I said, this place isn't that long. You also see the sylphs appear a lot more often in these dungeons. Also, I've noticed that there's a lot more input on my videos than there used to be, because someone named McLord on the Dragon's Den actually said he was really enjoying these videos, and that really pleased me. I've been actually doing Let's Playing for like, I think 5 years, going on 6. And I think this is the first time I've actually had someone say that they're really enjoying the videos. At least someone that I don't know personally. I know a couple of my friends on Skype have been watching my videos and liked them, but this is the first time outside of my friendly circle that someone has actually liked my videos. To the point that they actually leave a comment. And now the mist has disappeared. And oh look, a pretty rainbow. That's kind of neat. Another similarity to Dragon Quest is the rainbow. You saw the rainbow quite a few times going through the early Dragon Quest games. It was used in Dragon Warrior 1, Dragon Warrior 3, and I can't remember if it was used in 2 or not. I can't remember. But if I remember right, the Charm of Rubus that you get in that, if you saw the official art for it, it actually looked a lot like the Rainbow Drop. So there's that to consider as well. Aside from that, well, there have been a couple of people that actually say that I tend to spend most of the video talking like all the time, and that there's nothing particularly wrong with it, but they seem to think that maybe I'm trying to overcompensate with my commentary to make the videos entertaining. And, well, they do kind of have a point with that. But the thing is that when I'm doing these recordings, I act usually quite a bit different than I would if I was to, say, playing a game for just normal enjoyment. I hardly talk at all when I normally play games. I am very quiet, very silent, and I usually only say something if I'm getting annoyed or if I'm angry at a game. Aside from that, most of what I'm saying is in my head, like I'm thinking it, and I've always been like that. And as you can imagine, this makes Let's Playing more than a little awkward. Oh, and there's the Ice Warrior. Hello. Fire Drake takes that out pretty fast, though. When I first started Let's Playing, I chalked up my ability to be quiet when I play games as just me being inexperienced. But as I continue to make Let's Plays, it came to my attention that this was a part of me that wasn't going to change. And believe me, I tried. I even tried to get to where I was actually talking to myself while I play my video games to try to make Let's Playing easier, but it never really worked. Eventually I just stopped trying and just did commentary when I was doing my Let's Plays, because it wasn't doing any good trying to change how I act when I play games. Overall, it's not a huge issue, but it is something that I really dislike about myself, though. I really wish that I could act more like other people. Though, it is kind of funny. Because I've talked to some of my friends, and when I'm on group calls on Skype, they say that I'm a very active person, usually, and they say I'm very enjoyable to talk with. They enjoy listening to me when I rant on a bunch of different subjects. And sometimes when I try to help people out with stuff and have good conversations. And a lot of my friends originally believed that this is how I act when I do Let's Plays. That's not true at all. If I were to record like one of our group conversations on Skype, you would hear just how different I actually am. It's kind of ridiculous. And that's really why I try to, when I have the option, I try to have my friends talking with me when I'm doing my Let's Plays, because my commentary is usually so much better when that's the case, but most of the time, my friends aren't available when I plan on doing recordings. Mostly because of how I have to record my sound. It's more than a little annoying. Because most of this is post-commentary, and most of the time I try to wait till late at night when my parents are asleep, and just about no one is available that late at night. So that's not really possible anymore. I suppose I could just have, like, my mom take care of my grandma while we're doing the commentary, but that's not always possible either. When you enter Jonowan, you talk to this old man, and he's not very friendly. I wonder if there's a reason for that. Source of wisdom. Oh, get out of the way of the table. There we go. I'm not exactly sure what wisdom does in this game, but I'm assuming it just has something to do with how often you get MP. That's the only thing I can think of. If not that, then I really couldn't tell you. At this point, I start buying back all of the rare items that I sold before, because I'm going to need them for the next dungeon. You'll see why. And there's a lot of them that I'm actually going to buy. Anything that has fire attached to it will help. I don't know who's going to end up carrying all this stuff, but I'll think about that later. You can also start buying an item called the Illusion Potion. Not to be confused with Illusion Powder. Illusion Potion is actually the item that's the reverse of the Monster Bait. And what is with all these old people not liking outsiders? That's very annoying. Anyway, Illusion Potion. Monster Bait is an item that will make monster encounters appear more often. Ugh, that'd be horrible. Yeah, that's gonna be useful in a second. Not so much for me, because I already know the location that he's talking about anyway. But if this was your first time, that clue is pretty helpful. If you talk to this guy that just ran into town, he apparently came from the other island, and he didn't like what he saw. Huh. I wonder what that's gonna mean for us. Yeah, this inn is extremely cheap, which is going to be helpful. Because trust me, we're going to need a lot of money soon. Back to what I was trying to say about the Monster Bait Illusion Potion. Monster Bait makes encounters come by faster. Illusion Potion has the reverse effect. It slightly lessens your monster encounter rate. I'm not going to be using it though because, one, I'm going to need all the experience and gold I can get my hands on in these next few areas. If you check this part of the area, a monolith opens up, and this is where you put in the statue of Gaia. If you do so, then you get a cutscene. Yeah, that's pretty nice. It opens up a bridge to the next island, so you don't need a boat. And you can move around while the item is returning to your inventory. I find that kind of humorous. The camera also doesn't auto-zoom to your location until the item is back with you, which can actually glitch the game in some rare circumstances, which I'll get into later. I originally gave everything to Edward at first, but that's not a good idea. He already has strong magic at his disposal, so I'd prefer to give those to someone like Finn or Annie that don't exactly have strong attack magic, so I can maximize damage potential within a few turns. The illusion potion really isn't that effective, and I learned that the Blizzard Warriors are resistant to fire. See? So, using fire on them is not a good idea. The illusion potion, if I can talk about it for 2 seconds without getting sidetracked, it really doesn't help as much as you would think. I think you might go maybe an extra 2 or 3 steps without a random fight, and it tends to wear off pretty quick, so it's not worth carrying around. The reason I didn't pick no random battles for getting through the Temple of Auron is it just doesn't work. I tried several things, like even starting over in a new game, putting in no random battles, and going through the game using walk through walls and seeing if I could use it that way. No dice. Monsters still started appearing, even though the switch for monsters appearing wasn't even there. It's almost like the game was hell-bent on making you suffer in that place. So I was going to use the illusion potion to make it a little easier on myself, but it didn't quite work out that way. As you've seen, there's another monolith that you have to put the Statue of Gaia in order to make the bridge appear again. And unfortunately, until you beat this place, you have to constantly use the Statue of Gaia over and over again to go from aisle to aisle. This is fairly annoying. Speaking of annoying, welcome to the Jonowan Shrine. If the very creepy, scary music wasn't a tip-off, this place is not nice. You see that purple emblem over there? If you step on it, it will take some of all your people's magic away. I think it's like 5 points every time you step on it. And it does that for forever, for as long as you continue to step on the emblem. This one's not so bad, since you can walk around it, but they're going to abuse these later on in this place, and it gets pretty annoying. I don't think the game uses these all that often, so that's good. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the only dungeon that uses them, which I admit is more than a little awkward. You would think this would be the perfect way to get some cheap shots in, but apparently not. They were feeling nice and then decided to reuse this gimmick. Unfortunately, oh, we got sleeping powder. I can sell that. There's a problem. If the emblems were the only thing that got in the way, it wouldn't be quite so bad. However, as you'll notice, one of these statues is following us. Yeah, you can't progress in the floor until you put them on these living panels, which will lock them into place. If you try to go upstairs when a statue head is following you, it'll just knock you back until you get rid of it. This, combined with the magic ceiling emblems, I guess I'll call them, is pretty annoying. Especially on the second to final floor, which I will actually demonstrate in this video. Yeah, the second to final floor right here is a jerk move in every way possible. And now I will have to demonstrate the magic ceiling emblem. 5 MP loss for everyone. If you're a party that's very dependent on magic, this can really suck. Because even having lots of mage potions, you'll burn through your MP very fast. Also, if you go to the south at that area, there's a chest. But I forgot to get it. So that'll have to wait for a next video. However, this one has the steel plate. Unfortunately, item space decides to be an issue again. So yeah, I have to do some micromanagement here. And now, steel plate. It's even better than the last upgrade that we got at Nighttime Luna. Sweet. Oh, 2 Ice Warriors this time. Well, that's not good. At this point, Edward's magic is less than desirable because a lot of enemies in here are ice, and he has nothing but fire and thunder. Thunder level 1 is good, but fire level 2 is technically stronger. Although not by much, because fire level 2 sucks when it comes to damage output. But there's nothing we can do about that right now. However, we have a more important issue. Getting to the next floor. Or shall I say, actually beating the next floor. Yeah, the dungeon really isn't all that big, but when you get higher and higher into the floors of this place, they start to really annoy you. The High Elves are upgrades of the Elf enemy. They're faster, more durable, and they have much stronger magic. I believe this variation has Thunder level 1, which does 16 to 18 damage to your entire party. Ouch. Also, because of his large speed, it's hard to take them out before they act. Yes, you are looking at this right. This room is full of one-way direction paths. And to make things even more complicated, they've added holes, as well as magic ceiling emblems. So you have to be very careful where you walk in here. And I screwed up. There are 2 statues that you are forced to get put on the symbols, the living symbols, in order to progress the next area. Oh, hello, living armor, that I hate so much. The living armor is a very annoying enemy. It's not that hard to kill, but if you let it get a turn, it has one of 3 things it can do. It can attack, it can use illusion powder to blind your party, which isn't all that bad, but you can also use sleeping powder, which has a chance to put your entire party to sleep. That is bad. By the way, don't do what I'm doing right now, because no matter what you do, you're going to fall into a hole if you go this path. So don't do it. I don't manage to get through this next part of the area in this run, but I will hopefully manage to get past it in the next video. At least that's what I'm hoping for. And I checked this bottom path for a chest, and there is none. Holy crap, that's a lot of enemies. And I hate living armors already, so this is not a good thing. Honestly, if I was thinking, I would have put Thunder level 1 on living armors, but I wasn't thinking about that. Because as you can tell, they're kind of durable. They're about as durable as a gargoyle is. And Samson actually came to my rescue here, which I approve of. Level 18, and he has yet to get a new spell. Come on, dude. I know you're not going to get one every level, but I really need one right now. You're still lagging behind Taunt when it comes to usefulness. Holy crap, 2 of those guys. Oh boy, this is not good. Yeah, magic is going to be used a lot in here. Because there's a lot of magic abusers, and they come in large groups in this place. The cockatrice enemy isn't really all that threatening, but he can put people to stone sometimes, which is a problem. If you use Taunt's magic, though, a lot of these groups just aren't difficult. This video doesn't go on for very much longer, I think, because during this next attempt at the next floor, I actually run into, I think, a magic ceiling emblem. And at that point, my magic is low enough to where I'm afraid to stay in here. Yeah, I really wanted to get rid of that before I got this chest. Finn receives the battle dress. Sorry, Finn, but that's not for you. It's for her, though, and it is another good upgrade. I'm sure to sense a trend here. There was one upgrade for Annie in the Valley of the Mist, and there's another one that in here that we found for Finn, and yet we just received another one for Annie. Dear God, they're giving me upgrades like out the yin-yang right now. But yeah, this place is not very fun. Although we have yet to see the true threat of this place. That'll be next video. Oh yeah. This place gets worse. Wow, critical fail from Finn. Wonderful. I am glad that I got a lot of experience and gold from all those failures for the Temple of Aran, because I'm at such a high level now that I won't have to grind much to beat this area. Because trust me, I don't want to stay in this area any more than I have to. Yeah. At this point, I'm pretty much like, yeah, I can't make it any farther in here. Besides, my time is running low anyway. Gotta skedaddle and rest up and save my game. That's okay though. At least I managed to accomplish something in this vid. That's something. After this next area though, the rest of the game kind of slows down a bit unless you catch up, which I like. Because counting this and the tip of Aren, they're both pretty sadistic dungeons in their own right. So I think the game developers do realize this, and they give you a breather for like the next few areas. So you don't have to deal with the cheapness. Which I can certainly appreciate. Not to say that it'll last forever. There are more annoying dungeons down the road that I'll have to deal with, but that won't happen for a while. And when that happens, you'll be better prepared for it at least. I've also noticed that I'm getting a ton of VP for my characters. And if this continues, then my characters won't have to fear spells for very much longer. Because characters like Edward and Finn can block off 2 attack spells fairly well. It would take like 3 attack spells to probably put them in groggy status, which helps. Yeah, that is annoying, having to put that stupid statue in these monoliths every time you want to cross over. I do not like that. Very annoying. I have lots of stuff to sell. Yeah, that's all that I'm gonna say for now. Next video, we're gonna continue to go through the Jonowan Shrine, and hopefully we can get to the end of it, and see what happened to Domino. See you guys later.